Hi everyone, do you remember when I turned these golf balls on the lathe? Well, a lot of people said in the comments that they were surprised that the balls weren't filled with rubber bands, and if they were, it would have been really dangerous to turn. So this got me thinking, can you turn rubber bands on the lathe? Well, I guess we're about to find out. Making this blank should be fairly easy. I've got myself some rubber bands and an empty container, so all I need to do is mix up some resin, dunk in my bands, and then we'll have ourselves a blank. Well, that's looking pretty good. They're all sinking to the bottom. Well, I think that's looking pretty good. It's pretty cram-packed in there. So the next thing I need to do is pop this in the pressure pot and let it cure overnight. Well, it looks like we've got a really good casting, but I'm a bit worried that when I put it on the lathe and start turning it, it's just going to fly into 1,000 pieces. I can already see here on this rubber band that it's starting to separate from the resin. Well, I guess there's only one way to find out if this will work, and that is to glue my waste block on and start turning it on the lathe. Well, I think this has to be one of the most sketchiest things I've ever turned. And I've turned some pretty sketchy things. I've turned the golf balls, water, coffee beans, and even a jawbreaker. So what do you think's going to happen with this one? Pause this video and let me know. Do you think it's going to shatter into 1,000 pieces? Or do you think it'll be just fine? Either way, I'm going to have on my protection. definitely scarier than it looks. When the tool picks up on one of these rubber bands, it shakes in my hand and it feels horrible. But I think it's turning out pretty good. So the next thing I need to do is start rounding this front, and then I can put on the sphere jig. Well, I gotta be honest, I thought this was going to shatter into 1,000 pieces, but luckily it didn't. You can see in a few spots where the rubber bands come out, but apart from that, it looks pretty good. So the next thing I'm going to do is give it a sand and a polish. Well, I thought turning these rubber bands was going to be the hardest part, but as it turns out, it was sanding and polishing. I had these little bits of bands falling out everywhere. Now I still think it looks pretty great, and if you think so too, let me know by hitting the like button. Now let's check it out.